Hello, Year 8. This is a presentation for you to try and explain about the pathways that you've been allocated for your options choices. You should have received in the post an options booklet with all of the information in about the courses and some options forms, which look like this. That tell you about your pathway. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly explain to you the pathways, and then hopefully that will answer some questions that people are likely to have. So there are 4 pathways that we use at Graham School. They're called enhanced, standard, supported, and tailored. You have been allocated the one that you've been allocated based on a few bits of information. So it's firstly based on what are called your CAT tests that you did at the beginning of year 7, which give us an idea about the right sort of courses for you. And also we've looked at how well you are doing at the moment in maths and English. Those bits of information together have decided which pathway you are on. So you might be thinking, why are maths and English so important? Why don't we look at other subjects as well? Well, maths and English are really important because you have to get a grade 4 or a grade 5 in both of those subjects at the end of year 11. If you don't get a grade 4 or a grade 5, you will have to do those qualifications again wherever you go to next. So if you're thinking you might go to Tech College or to Sixth Form College, or you're thinking you might get an apprenticeship, any route that you decide to go down, you have to have a grade 4 in maths and English. So it's really important that we get you to that stage. If you're thinking in the long run that you'd like to perhaps go to university or something like that, then you will definitely need to have grade 4 and 5. Okay, so maths and English are really important as we move forward. Right, now some of you have got more than one pathway, so it might say on your letter that you've got enhanced and standard, for example, or it might say that you've got supported and tailored. If you've got more than one, you can choose which one of the 2 you would like. Our recommendation is that either of those would be suitable for you, okay, but you can make that final decision for yourself. You need to talk to people about it. Now, if obviously you can see people face to face, that's great. If not, then obviously you can hopefully have phone calls or other ways of communicating with people, but you need to talk about it. Okay, the pathways are going to be explained to your parents when we do the options evening event, okay, which is likely to be on the 4th of March. Now, eventually, not just yet, but eventually in the future, you will start to fill in these options forms. Okay, now there's some really important things to remember when you're doing the options forms. Firstly, it always has at the top here a space for your name. You must put your name onto the options forms, please. Secondly, there are instructions for you at the top as to how to fill in the forms. You need to follow those instructions, please. At the bottom, there is some additional information that is useful. Okay, it's different for different pathways, but you need to have read that additional information so you know what it is that you need to put on. When you put your choices in, you must put them in a number order. So please say your most important one, your first choice is number 1, your second choice is number 2, and so on if you've got other choices. Okay, but just make sure that you're reading the instructions, everything's on the form. If you follow the instructions, you will be fine. Okay, so that's a little bit about the pathways, and hopefully that'll help you with filling in the forms. Remember, I do not want to have the forms back, please, yet, because you need to have experienced all of the events that we've got planned for you before you hand those forms back in. So the first date that you can bring those forms back to me is from the 26th of March, all right? We do not want any forms returned, please, before then. Okay, if you've got any questions about your pathways, then you need to make sure you ask, please. all right? And then we will go from there. Okay, hopefully this has been useful. And then, as I say, if you've got other questions, then please let us know.